The email I was never supposed to see. I used to think marriages fall apart loudly, with fights, slammed doors, neighbors hearing everything. But looking back, mine didn't fall apart. It was quietly dismantled, piece by piece, behind my back. And somehow, the first piece was something as harmless as an email notification that popped up at 6:14 p.m. on a Thursday evening. I was chopping vegetables in the kitchen when my phone vibrated. Without thinking, I picked it up, expecting an online order confirmation or maybe an automated bill reminder. Instead, what I saw made my hands freeze in mid-air. Hotel reservation confirmed, Mrs. Emily Carter, the Redwood Suites, downtown Dallas. At first, I honestly thought it was spam, a glitch. Maybe someone used my email mistakenly. But then I saw the check-in date that very afternoon, and the name under additional guests, Michael Carter, my husband, my name. Our credit card. My blood turned cold. Now here is something most people don't know about me. I'm not jealous by nature. I always believed trust was the foundation of a marriage, and for more than 20 years, Michael and I had what I truly believed was a strong partnership. But that evening, something told me this wasn't a harmless misunderstanding. Something told me I needed to stay calm, dangerously calm, because something much deeper was happening. I called Michael immediately. He didn't answer. I called again, straight to voicemail. He had texted earlier that he'd be working late. Client dinner, he said, might be home around 10. Funny thing was, Michael rarely worked late on Thursdays. It was usually the one weekday he came home early because Fridays were half days at his firm. I wiped my hands, sat at the kitchen table, and stared at the email again. Most women would have confronted him right then. But instead, I dialed the hotel. "Good evening, Redwood Suites front desk speaking. How may I assist you?" I swallowed. "Hi, this is Mrs. Emily Carter. I received a reservation confirmation, but I need to verify something." "Oh yes, Mrs. Carter, we have you checked in already. Everything is set for your stay." My heart stopped. "Checked in," I whispered. "Sorry, I'm not actually there. Could you confirm who checked in?" The receptionist lowered her voice. "Of course, although information is limited due to privacy, but—" "One moment, please. Let me see. According to our system, the room was checked in at 3:42 p.m. by Mr. Carter." My throat felt tight, my hands tingled. "And is there another guest added?" "Yes," she answered politely. "There is a second registered guest on the booking. And her name is Ms. Lily Thompson." Lily Thompson, never heard of her. I was quiet for several seconds. The receptionist filled the silence. There was also a note requesting privacy on the reservation. Something about a personal occasion. A personal occasion. I forced my voice to stay normal. "Right, yes, thank you," I hung up. Something inside me broke, but not the way you might think. I didn't start crying. I didn't start yelling. Instead, I felt something more painful, something deeper. A numbness, a hollow disbelief. I stared across my kitchen, the same kitchen where I cooked Michael's birthday dinner just last month, the same kitchen where Jason blew out candles at 14, 9, 5 years old. All those years, and now this. My phone rang suddenly. Jason's name appeared. "Hey Mom," he said casually. "Everything okay?" Jason was 22, still living with us while finishing college. He'd been oddly distant lately, coming home late, avoiding conversations. I thought it was just school stress. Turns out I was wrong about a lot of things. I told him I was fine, but he paused before hanging up. Long, awkward silence. "Mom," he said quietly. "Are you home tonight?" "Yes, why?" "Nothing," he muttered. Just asking. Just asking." Right. 8 minutes later, I got another text, this time from Michael. "Love you, dinner took longer, be home late." My stomach twisted. He was lying, and I wasn't sure which hurt more, the lie or how easily it came. I stared at the text for a long minute. Then slowly, deliberately, I typed back, "Okay, love you too." The message sent, and I put my phone down. I wasn't in denial. I wasn't pretending everything was fine. I simply needed him to believe I didn't suspect a thing, not yet. If Michael was cheating, I was going to expose him on my terms, not his. but I wasn't prepared for what came next. At around 8:10 p.m., doorbell rang. Jason walked in carrying take-out bags. He kissed my cheek and smiled too quickly, too rehearsed. "Picked up dinner for us," he announced, avoiding eye contact. Something felt staged, like he was trying to distract me. We sat at the table and he talked about classes, upcoming exams, random college stuff, except he never actually looked up at me. He kept glancing at his phone like waiting for a message. Finally, he said the words that punched me harder than anything. "Dad texted. He said he might just stay downtown tonight because it's late." Downtown. The hotel was downtown. I pretended to be surprised. "Really?" Jason nodded, but his voice cracked a little when he spoke. He wasn't a good liar, he got that from me. Something inside my chest tightened. My own son covering for his father, dinner dragged on painfully slow until I finally excused myself and went upstairs. I sat in my dark bedroom in complete silence, trying to process the pieces, trying to understand. And then something hit me. That girl's name. Lily Thompson. Why did it sound familiar? I opened Facebook, typed her name. Hundreds of results. Too many. Instagram, same thing. LinkedIn, finally something. A young marketing intern at the same firm where Michael worked. 24 years old, newly hired, my face burned. For a moment, I considered driving downtown myself, marching into that hotel and confronting them. Most women would've, maybe even should've. But something inside me whispered, "Wait, don't react. Not yet. I needed proof, real proof. Not suspicion, not assumptions. If I confronted Michael now, he would deny everything. He would twist it. He would blame stress. He would say I misunderstood. No, I needed undeniable evidence. And suddenly an idea formed. Not just an idea, a plan. I grabbed my phone again and dialed the hotel a second time. "Hi, this is Mrs. Carter again," I said gently. "There's been a slight mix-up. I actually won't be able to arrive tonight after all, so I'll need the hotel to email me the check and document, just for confirmation purposes." "Of course, Mrs. Carter, we can do that." "Actually," I continued, "could you include any check in notes or signatures? Our insurance requires documentation." They hesitated, but hotel protocol allowed it since the booking was under my name. "Certainly, we'll email shortly." When the email arrived 10 minutes later, I opened it slowly, my heart pounding. There it was, Michael's signature. But in the additional guest signature line, Jason Carter, I stared in disbelief. My own son had signed the guest form. My son had physically checked them in. My son had helped them. I felt sick, truly sick, so it wasn't just cheating, it was betrayal, from both of them. I dropped my phone on the bed and sat there trembling, anger, heartbreak, humiliation all crashing into one another. But underneath all that pain something darker grew, something sharper. I wasn't going to cry. I was going to destroy them, both of them. I shut my laptop, stood up, walked to the bathroom, and looked at myself in the mirror. I didn't look broken, not yet. I still looked like the same wife, the same mother, but something in my eyes had changed. Maybe I had always been too forgiving, too trusting, too patient, not anymore. At 10:42 p.m., Jason knocked lightly on my door. "Mom, you asleep?" "No," I said. He opened the door an inch, then stopped as if afraid to come in. "Dad just texted again, said he'll come home early in the morning." I turned toward him slowly. "That's fine," I said calmly. Jason looked at me, really looked, and something like guilt flashed in his eyes, but he didn't say a word. "Good night," he mumbled. "Good night," I replied softly. The moment he closed the door, I finally allowed myself to whisper what I had been thinking ever since I saw that confirmation email. "I know exactly what you're doing, Michael. And I promise you're going to regret choosing her over me." Because if there was one thing I learned about betrayal, it doesn't break you. It teaches you how to move in silence. And I wasn't just silently waiting anymore, I was planning. I became her. I didn't sleep that night. I lay awake until nearly sunrise, scrolling through everything I could find about Lily Thompson, her job posts, her photos, her friends, even her Instagram stories from last night. At 2:17 a.m., she posted a picture of a wine glass with a hotel room curtain behind her. The caption said, "Private celebration." I stared at that photo until my eyes hurt. Was she celebrating stealing another woman's husband, or did she even know about me? By morning, I wasn't crying, I was calculating. I left the house before Jason woke up. I didn't take my car. I booked an Uber for downtown, but I didn't go straight to the hotel. I went to a coffee shop across the street. I sat near the window and waited. At 8:11 a.m., Michael and Lily walked out together. Michael was wearing the same blue shirt he left the house in yesterday, hair slightly messed up, eyes tired in that good tired way, as if he'd had the night of his life. Lily was laughing at something he said, her hand brushing his arm like they were teenagers. I felt my stomach twist. Seeing it in real life, seeing his smile toward someone else, was worse than any message, worse than any photo. He used to smile at me that way. When they got in his car and drove off, I didn't follow. I didn't need to. I already had a different plan. I walked into the hotel. The front desk girl recognized the name immediately when I said, "I'd like to speak about my reservation from last night." "Oh, Mrs. Carter, I hope your stay was pleasant," I interrupted gently. "Actually, I'd like to discuss an issue privately, please." Her expression changed. She motioned me toward the office. The hotel manager, a middle-aged man with a polite smile, asked how he could help. I kept my voice soft. "There seems to have been a mistake. My signature was not on the document. Someone else signed for me, which is identity misuse." He stiffened immediately. I continued, "For legal reasons, I need a copy of the security footage of the check-in, just to verify who impersonated me." The manager looked nervous. "Mrs. Carter, hotel security footage is confidential unless requested by law enforcement." I leaned forward slowly. "Well then, I'll be happy to involve law enforcement. After all, identity misuse is a legal offense." He swallowed. "Hard. Hotels hate police involvement, bad for business." After exactly 31 seconds of uncomfortable silence, he sighed. "I'll see what I can do, Mrs. Carter." Within 15 minutes, he returned with a USB drive. "This contains only check-in footage," he warned. "We legally cannot include room surveillance." I didn't care about the room. I only needed proof of the act itself. As he handed me the drive, he added, "Your son seemed aware of the situation." That word, aware, stabbed like a knife. So Jason wasn't just present, he knew exactly what he was helping with. I thanked the manager politely, walked out, and only allowed myself to breathe once I reached the street. Not gasp, not cry, just breathe. I'd spent 23 years as Michael's wife. I thought that meant loyalty. But apparently, marriage vows meant nothing in a world where temptation was only one text message away. I sat on a bench across the street and texted Michael. "Hope your meeting went well. What time will you be home?" He replied 2 minutes later. "Heading to the office now, didn't sleep well, we can do dinner tonight." He didn't sleep well, funny, looked pretty rested to me. But I typed back, "Sure, dinner sounds nice, smiley emoji included." Let him think I was clueless. Let him relax. Because I needed him calm, I needed him confident, I needed him careless. I needed him to think he was winning. That afternoon, Jason came home early. He looked nervous, jumpy almost. He asked strange questions like, "Are you okay today? What did you do this morning?" And the oddest one, "Are you going anywhere tonight?" He was checking for his father. I smiled calmly. "Just planning dinner." Jason forced a smile, but his eyes were restless. He wanted to know what I knew. He just didn't dare ask. I said gently, "Jason, are you feeling all right?" He froze. "Why, you look pale." "No," he stammered. "I'm fine, just college stuff." College stuff, right. At 6 p.m., Michael walked in the house like nothing happened. He kissed my cheek. I let him. He asked about my day. I lied. He lied. We both lied. He talked about clients, dinner, meetings. I listened like the perfect wife. Until he took a shower. Then I plugged the USB into my laptop. There he was. At 3:42 p.m. yesterday. Standing at the counter, smiling confidently, handing credit cards, laughing with Lily. And then the worst image of all, Jason walking in right behind them. Signing, helping, acting like escort security. I watched that clip at least 20 times until I felt nothing. Not anger, not sadness, just numb truth. When Michael came back downstairs, he glanced at my laptop for half a second, then quickly looked away. He knew. On some level, he knew I knew something, but he didn't want to face it. We ate dinner quietly. Jason barely spoke. Michael pretended everything was fine. After dinner, Jason went upstairs. Michael stepped onto the porch to call a client. Except this time I followed silently. He was whispering, smiling, same charm. "Yeah, last night was amazing too," he said. "She suspects nothing." Suspects. Nothing. Little did he know I was standing 5 feet behind him in the doorway. I didn't make a sound, deep breathing, slow thinking, quiet heart. I wasn't ready to confront him yet, not loudly, not angrily, not emotionally. No, I wanted him to confess on his own. I wanted him to drown in his own lies. So I waited until he walked inside and then I called the hotel again. This time I changed my voice, softer, younger, slightly nervous. "Hi, this is Lily. I left something in the room. Could I pick it up tomorrow?" "Yes, Ms. Thompson, absolutely. Come anytime." Perfect. Now they believed I was her too. I wasn't just Emily Carter anymore. I was Lily Thompson. The woman who walked away. I woke up the next morning feeling strangely clear. Not calm, not peaceful, just clear. Like someone had wiped a foggy window and everything finally came into focus. I wasn't going to scream. I wasn't going to beg. I wasn't going to fight over a man who chose someone else. What I was going to do was finish this silently. By 9 a.m., Jason had left for class. Michael kissed my cheek goodbye again, habit, reflex, routine, but I didn't lean into it. I stood still, like my body no longer responded to his touch. He didn't notice. Men rarely notice what they don't care to see. As soon as the door shut, I packed a single overnight bag. Nothing dramatic, nothing obvious, just enough. Then I went back downtown, this time walking straight into the Redwood Suites, confidence burning in my veins. The front desk woman instantly recognized me as Mrs. Carter. But today I wasn't here as Mrs. Carter. I leaned forward, lowering my voice just slightly. "Good morning, I'm Lily Thompson. I need a copy of something I left in the room." Her eyes widened slightly. "Oh yes, just a moment, let me check." She disappeared and the manager came out instead. "Ms. Thompson, correct?" he asked politely. I nodded. He handed me a small sealed envelope with the hotel's logo. Inside, I found itemized charges. Champagne bottle, room service dinner for two, private celebration package. Everything charged under Emily Carter's credit card. My credit card. The irony almost made me smile. When I turned to leave, the manager gently stopped me. "Ms. Carter," he said quietly. My spine stiffened. He looked embarrassed. "I know who you are." For a moment, neither of us spoke. Then he said something I didn't expect. "You deserved better." Just 3 words. But said sincerely. I nodded, throat tight, and walked out of the lobby like a woman approaching the end of her marriage, not with drama but with dignity. When I got home, Michael was still gone. Good, I needed time alone. I printed the hotel receipt, the check-in signatures, and screenshots of Lily's posts. I placed them all carefully in a small folder, nothing dramatic, nothing theatrical, just truth. Then I opened our family bank account, withdrew half, and moved it into my own separate account, something I should have done years ago. Next, I opened a new email draft addressed to Michael. Not angry, not emotional, just final. Subject, our marriage. Michael, I know about the hotel. I know about Lily. I know Jason helped. I won't be arguing or begging or fighting. I'm just letting you know that I will no longer be living in this house. I loved you for more than 20 years. I don't regret that. But I refuse to love someone who chose someone else. I'm leaving today. Emily, I attached the evidence, hit send, and closed the laptop. No yelling, no confrontation, no drama, just goodbye. I packed slowly, carefully. Only essentials. Clothes, documents, a photo of Jason from childhood, one where he was still my little boy, not the man who betrayed me. Then I wrote Jason a note, not blaming him, not accusing him, just speaking honestly. Jason, I hope someday you understand what loyalty means. I love you. Mom, I placed it on his pillow. At noon, my phone rang, Michael calling. I didn't answer. Not because I wanted to punish him, but because there was nothing left to say. He called again and again. Finally, he texted, "Where are you?" I typed back 4 simple words. "Not where you left me." And then I turned the phone off. I rented a small Airbnb in a quiet town an hour away. When I arrived, I sat on the edge of the bed and just breathed slowly, deeply, like someone who finally stepped off a battlefield. No war, no more pretending, no more performance, just me. I expected to cry. I didn't. I expected to feel lonely. I didn't. All I felt was relief. That evening, Michael finally sent a long message. Paragraphs of excuses, claims of misunderstanding. Work dinner. She's just a coworker. It wasn't what it looked like. Funny, considering I had watched the footage. He ended the message with, "Please come home, we can talk." I wrote one sentence back, "I already heard you talk to her." He didn't reply. 2 days later, Jason called. His voice was shaky, scared. "Mom, where are you?" "I'm safe," I answered calmly. He was quiet a long time, then, "Dad told me everything." Everything, or just his version of everything. "I'm sorry," he whispered. "I didn't want to be part of it." "I know," I said softly. "Someday you'll understand consequences." Another long silence. "Are you coming back?" "No," I said. He inhaled sharply, hurt. "What about me?" "You're an adult now," I reminded him gently. "It's time to decide who you want to become." He sounded like a child again when he whispered, "Mom, please." But I didn't return, not that day, not ever. Weeks passed. Divorce papers arrived. He signed without a fight. I didn't demand anything extra. Just my half, just fairness. Lily vanished from his social media. Maybe she realized she didn't want a married man after all. Maybe she never really knew. Or maybe Michael realized she wasn't worth destroying a family for. Either way, none of it mattered. Because for the first time in 20 years, I woke up alone and didn't feel lonely. I got a small apartment with big windows. Started freelance work from home. Took a pottery class. Went for long walks. Cooked only for myself, exactly what I wanted when I wanted. Slowly, I remembered the version of Emily that existed long before Michael Carter ever entered her life. She was still there. She was just buried. A month later, Jason came to see me. No anger, no shouting, just quiet. He hugged me longer than I expected, maybe longer than he ever had. "Mom," he whispered, "I messed up." I stroked his hair like when he was little. "You were protecting your father," I said softly. "I hope someday you'll protect the right things." He cried, a grown man crying in my arms like a lost child, but I didn't blame him, I didn't punish him, I simply forgave him. Not for him, for me, and Michael. He finally sent one last message, "I miss us." I stared at that sentence a long time, then typed, "You should have missed us while you still had us." Block, not rage, not revenge, peace. That's the thing about betrayal. It doesn't destroy you. It teaches you who you really are without the people who lied to you. Some women scream. Some women break things. Some women stay. But some women quietly, gracefully leave, not because they're weak, but because they finally remember their worth. And that woman was me.